Our second case is as bizarre as they come. This is out of Kentucky, where a man is accused of murdering his girlfriend, chopping her up, and then putting her body parts into suitcases, then getting on a bus with those suitcases, rides the bus for 5 hours, and then goes to visit his mother. And it is his mother who thinks that he's acting strangely, also wants to know why the suitcases smell so weird. And he did something really bizarre, like he took one of the suitcases and he put it in the garage. Okay, so mom is like, something's going on. Plus, when he's there visiting mom, he says to his relatives, hey, can I borrow some clothes? Now, why would you borrow clothes if you have several suitcases with you, right?
Yeah.
Moms do, right. This mom was on top of things. I mean, and the 911 call will reveal, what she was thinking. It's incredible. So Melvin Martin, who is 30 years old, was charged on September 16th, and he has been held without bail after his mom found his dead girlfriend. So Martin lives in Kentucky, and he was going to visit his mom in Markham, Illinois. So what I am trying to figure out here, Josh, is what possesses someone? Okay, clearly there's something wrong with him. There's no question about it. Whatever you want to say, right?
Yeah.
But then take it to the next level and you carry her with you.
No, there was obviously some sort of mental break in this person. I mean, I can't imagine that this man was able to walk around for the 30 years of his life and no one would be suspicious of him if he had this inside of him, unless he had some sort of mental break. I mean, he clearly, if he was involved in the murder, and it sounds like he was, something just broke in his brain that caused him to then put her in a bag and take her home to mama. I mean, it's just fascinating. It's disgusting. And I'll say it again, they walk amongst us. I mean, if public transportation wasn't scary enough beforehand, now to realize that the guy sitting next to you could have somebody's head in his suitcase is just scary stuff to think about what people are capable of.
It is. It really is frightening. The entire thing is, and I think that's why this case really touches me, because any one of us could have been on the bus with him, right? Striking up a conversation. Oh, where are you going? I'm going to go visit my mom. And like, oh, what a nice guy. 30 years old. And he still visits his mom. Do you have a girlfriend? Mm-hmm. She's with me.
Yeah.
I think that's why this one actually really scares me. Yeah. Okay. So here's how mom made this discovery.
Right.
Mom takes him to the library in their hometown, drops him off. Then she goes back home, goes to the garage to see what the heck is going on back here, opens up the suitcase, and she freaks out, as you can imagine. And she does the right thing. She calls police immediately.
Yeah.
She doesn't even let me go to the library, pick him up, and ask what's going on here. She calls 911, and this is what she tells the operator. I just took him to the library, and I said, let me see what's in the suitcase. Then, and she's talking about how he had taken the suitcase and to the garage. And she tells the 911 operator, I know that my son has been having a hard time. So clearly, yes, an understatement without question. But I think what mom is saying here is that she knew something was wrong and he was having a struggle, a really difficult time. But she never knew the magnitude of what he was capable of.
Yeah. And good. That was something that stood out to me, too. Good for mom. I mean, we can, putting ourselves in her shoes for a moment, talk about a horrific discovery. Just the discovery of body parts in a bag left alone by itself is something that'll, ruin your day. But then the idea that my son is capable of this, I can only imagine the heartbreak and how crushing that was for that mother. But she did the right thing. Like you said, she immediately got the authorities involved. I'm sure her heart goes out to her son for how he got to this point in his life, but she did the right thing.
So what mom finds is turns out to be her son's girlfriend's head and other remains. And apparently it was only half of her. The victim is believed to be Martin's 31-year-old girlfriend, Latawanda Ellington, and police believe that she had been dead at least a month.
Incredible.
And what's amazing is she wasn't all there with him, meaning he hadn't taken all of her. So now the police, of course, they come, they arrest him, and they're asking him, like, what's happened? Where's the rest of her? What did you do? So she had been reported missing. His girlfriend had been reported missing. So that didn't take authorities that long to figure that part out. And then during the interview, the police interview, Martin told investigators where they could find the rest of her back in Kentucky. And as a result of that, they actually found her torso in a park. So now you have two states involved and investigators, right?
Right.
Trying to literally not only piece this together, but the poor victim together here. So we still don't know the motive. According to the Markham police chief, he says it's not clear to him what happened, but he did give some insight into why he was traveling with her. This is what the police chief says. Martin said to him that, as grotesque as it may sound, that he still wanted to at least have a part of her with him.
It's incredible. I mean, I said this before, but the something broke in this man's brain. I mean, not to get too gruesome about it, but you have to think about the time it takes to dismember a human body, the labor that it takes. This is not easy work. This is physically intensive work to dismember someone, and it could take hours to do this. This man's brain broke when whatever this murder, however it took place, because every single step that he made after that just exposes kind of the mental unrest he was suffering from.
I'm going to bring something else into the mix, Josh, because when one of his ex-girlfriends saw the news that he's been arrested and had body parts with him and that he's charged with murdering his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend freaks out and calls the news and calls her mom because she says that when she was dating Martin, he once held her hostage.
Oh, wow.
She said she's surprised that he didn't kill her, and then he also labeled him a sick person.
Wow.
So maybe it wasn't a snap, that just happened, right? Maybe there's some very serious mental illness here.
Yeah, something was building up. It's interesting. Do we know if he had a criminal history? I'm curious if the prior girlfriend doesn't sound like she ever reported that crime. It's interesting what we'll find out about his history to see if this was just kind of something that had been mounting.
Yeah. Well, if the ex-girlfriend and any more come forward, that will give you a picture of what was going on in his world. And don't forget, his mom knew something else was going on, right? Yeah. She knew he was troubled. So Martin is expected to be extradited back to Kentucky to face charges. And he reportedly, though, his background does have some charges and arrests for domestic violence.
Okay. So he's a man with a violent history. He's a man with a violent history, but many people, unfortunately, have a violent history and don't take it to the depths that we see here. And that's the part that's, I think, most troubling, is to realize that there are human beings who walk amongst us, who take bus rides, who are capable of this kind of evil.
You're scaring me, Josh.
I'm scaring myself.